Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Aladdin here with the Chase DA Sports Handicapping YouTube channel. Just gonna give a quick rundown of UFC 277. I'm probably only gonna touch on the main card, but I'll start off on the early prelims. Let's just jump right into it. Just sort of doing this video off the cuff, nothing too crazy to it. But really, a lot of these prelim fights aren't that. They may be good, but they're sort of hard to bet on, if that makes any sense. The only one I like on the early prelims, he's an underdog. His name is on the streets. It's Blood Diamond, but it says Mike Mathathia here. I'm not going to use that name, and I'm not going to say it again. He is Blood Diamond, and Blood Diamond. He's getting older. He's a little. I mean, 34, and he's only 3-1, so he doesn't have that much under his belt for how old he is. But he has a 5-inch reach advantage. And he trains with Izzy, I believe. He's one of Adesanya's boys, so he's getting the right people around him, the right training. He looked pretty bad his last fight. Just looked really timid. Just sort of looked like a deer in headlights. So I think that's why the line is like plus 150 for him, if I'm not mistaken. He is the underdog though. That's the only play. Yeah, plus 150. There you go, right in the nose. That's the only play I like for the early prelims, and I honestly maybe for the prelims as a whole. The only other fight I honestly like is probably Drew Dober, but he's like minus 200. I'm only saying this because Drew Dober has a really solid shin. Go watch his last fight. I think it was like a 1-round banger. It was one of the craziest fights ever. I forget who he fought in the fight though, but it was just an absolute war. I've heard a lot of people they're on Drakkar close. He's like minus 250. I think he's pretty solid. He's a good wrestler guy. He should be able to control Garcia, but it's a prelim fight. I usually try not to go too big on them. I mean, I know last weekend we did with Mohamed Mokaev, but I mean, the guy was minus 500. He wasn't losing that fight, and clearly he should have been probably minus 1,000. Took him down like 10 times. I think it was 12 times actually. Either way, domination from him. Moving on though. Let's just go right into the main card. Let's stop with the silliness. Okay, straight into it. Let's just start with, man, I really would like to see this one. Paula Costa versus Luke Rockhold. I swear it's been scheduled so many times though. But this fight I actually sort of like. Man, I sort of like Anthony Smith in this fight. I know it's going to sound crazy against Magomed, but I mean, this line is just ridiculous. I mean, it's just getting higher and higher every day. He's almost minus 600, and he looked like dog crap in his last fight against Santos. He got dropped in the second round against Santos, who's a minus 1,300 favorite, and really looked bad. And someone like Anthony Smith, who has really good boxing, really good stand-up, Magomed's stand-up isn't that good. He thinks it's good because clearly he loves to stand up. He only went for one takedown in his last fight. I mean, that's like these Dagestani guys' bread and butter. And I was blown away in his last fight how he only went for one takedown. So, give me Anthony Smith by decision. I bet you it's probably 10-1 or something. I'll just click on it right here. But this is the total, yeah, plus 900. This is the total dog or pass fight. I mean, can I see Anthony Smith getting the crap beat out of him? Of course. I mean, just like when he fought Glover. But honestly, I just can't pay minus 600 for a guy who really hasn't been tested that much and who's going up against a guy in a 3-fight winning streak and who's super, super motivated. Give me Anthony Smith by decision. Hot take, but I don't know. Maybe some other people are on it. But give me Smith. I'm just going to skip this next fight, the Pantoja fight. I don't really have much to say about it. I think both guys have an equal chance at winning that fight. So basically, a toss-up for me. I'm not going to even talk about it. This fight is honestly my favorite of the whole card, honestly. Derrick Lewis versus Sergey Pavlovic. Lewis, obviously, he's the KO king. Has it tattooed on his chest. Most KOs, I think, not only in heavyweight division, but in all of UFC. And he's facing off against Pavlovic. And I believe Pavlo, yeah, 84-inch reach is the longest reach in the UFC next to John Jones. And don't get me wrong, like, he's younger, he's probably more motivated. But who is this guy fought? Literally, he fought like Latifi and who did he fight before? But he's literally everyone he's fought in. All the Shamil Abdurakhimov, and he had two other fights in the UFC. But literally everyone he's fought is retired or no longer in the promotion anymore. So I mean, he's fighting sort of tomato cans. I'm gonna be honest. And you're giving me Derrick Lewis as an underdog against this. I swear, every time Derrick Lewis has been an underdog, besides against Gane, he's won. When he fought Francis, beat him in the most boring fight of all time as an underdog. When he fought Curtis Blades, knocked him out as a plus 300 underdog. He fought Dalkus, somehow was the underdog in that fight, hammered him, and he knocked him out. So give me Lewis by KO. It's probably about plus 140 because he's already plus 115 on the money line. He keeps moving. I think he was a favorite. Now he's the underdog. Derrick Lewis as an underdog is super, super dangerous. And he's going to be fighting in his home state of Texas. I know he just lost his last fight against Tuivasa, and it was in Texas. But, I mean, I think he's going to bounce back at this one. And I really thought he could have won his last fight, honestly, too. He dropped Tuivasa, I think, two times, and definitely could have finished it one of those times. And all I know is the lock of the century for this fight, parlay piece of the century, I'm calling it now. You already know what it is if you've been watching this channel. Fight to go the distance, minus 650. I saw it for minus 450 yesterday, so people are hammering it. Honestly, if I was going to play it in a parlay, I would just probably do this. Fight to not complete two full rounds, 10 minutes. I mean, shame on them if they can't finish that in 10 minutes. I don't even think it gets out of the first round. I might just play this. Winning round. Round 1 plus 110. It could literally be either guy. I mean, that just seems like a lock right there. These guys, someone's going to sleep in this fight. You could guarantee it. And if they don't, both of them should be dropped from the UFC. So, moving on to the co-main event. Brandon Moreno versus Carr, France. I'm going to go with another underdog here. I'm going, man, if you watch my videos, usually I'm more of a chalk guy, but underdog on this card. I'm going with Carr, France. And my reasoning is the guy is super, super motivated. My level for Moreno is, what's his mental state after losing the championship? And then, I mean, will he get another chance, a fourth fight against Figgy? I mean, maybe. If he beats Kai, probably. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like he already had the belt. He already achieved what he achieved. Where's this guy's motivation at? Look at who Kai has fought. Knocked out Garbrandt. Just beat undefeated Askar Askarov in probably his best performance to date. Guy's on top of the world right now, and he's hanging out with Izzy, Volk, all the cool kids in Australia and New Zealand. So he's hanging out with a good crew. He's around the right people, I think. I think Moreno will definitely have a grappling and ground control, or he'll have that more in his favor, but Kai will definitely have the hand speed and stand-up game for sure. This guy has probably the heaviest hands in this division, and I think he could legitimately shut anyone's lights out at flyweight. So give me Carr, France. I'm going to go by decision, though, but I think he can finish this fight. Moreno's a tough guy, though, but I'm going Carr, France by split decision, 48-47. Moving on. Okay, this was the last time this fight happened. Nunez Pena won the first time they fought back in December. She was minus 1,400 by the time the fight started. And after the first round, she was minus 5,000. I mean, that's just insane. And she lost. I mean, that second round, she just gave up. It was probably one of the biggest tanks I've ever seen in MMA. As soon as Pena got that choke in, instant tap by Nunes. It was pretty pathetic, I gotta say, honestly. I'm gonna say Nunes wins this fight probably by a close decision. I'm gonna go another greasy, like 48-47 decision. And I just really can't see Nunes losing 2 fights in a row. And I thought the first win was honestly such a fluke for Pena. I mean, realistically, probably should have gotten finished in the first. And realistically, shouldn't even had the fight. I mean, she was on a 1-fight winning streak, and she got the title. I've never heard of that in UFC. Like, almost never. I mean, I know the competition in women's MMA is just a joke for, like, Nunes and Shevchenko. But 1 fight in a title streak, this sport's just becoming a joke. Anyways, I'm going to go with Nunes. I just don't think she's... A lot of people are on Pena. I know, but I'm going to choose a favor on this one. I've been choosing a bunch of dogs. And I don't think... If you're going to give me minus 1,400 and then minus, 250 now for the best women's fighter of all time, I'm still going to take it. I'm sorry. I mean, I really hope that Nunes honestly finishes Pena. Because, man, Pena... I swear, all she does ever since she won that belt, she thinks she's hot crap, going on all these TV shows, all these news channels. I'm Pena. I knocked out Nunes. I'm the best fighter of all time. Like, she just thinks she's this hot crap, and I just want Nunes to finish her. Like I said, I'm biased. The last time I bet her, she had one play to close out the parlay. It was Nunes, the biggest favorite, and loses. So I have a little recency bias, I will be honest, but I do think that Nunes gets this one done and doesn't catch 2 L's in a row. So those are my quick thoughts. Thank you all for listening, and have a good night.